What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Vikings Now by Chat Sports. My name is Patrick Siepman. Coming up on today's show, top Danielle Hunter replacements. I don't like making this video, but the more I look at kind of the Vikings cap situation and certain moves they need to get done this offseason, I think it's becoming less and less likely that they bring back number 99. So I got 5 guys in free agency and 3 guys in the draft later on in today's show that could replace number 99. But we could start it off with this. If you guys want the Vikings to bring back Danielle Hunter and sign him to a contract this offseason, give me a 99. Type his jersey number down below in the comment section. I want to see thousands of 99s down there on today's show. Show him some love. Send a message to Kwesi Adofo-Mensah that you want to bring back Danielle Hunter. Type those 99s. But we're going to start it off with the top free agent options for replacing Mr. Danielle Hunter. And number 1, the best free agent edge on the market right now is Josh Allen, not the quarterback from Buffalo, but the edge rusher from Jacksonville. And PFF has his contract projection as it stands right now as a 1-year, $22.79 million deal. And maybe saying, well, it's a hefty price tag, but listen, guys, Josh Allen's a hell of a football player, and I think he's one of the more underrated players, not just at the edge position, but honestly in the entire National Football League. He's also great in the run game as well. But this past season, the dude put up 17.5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, did have that INT, and he's actually incredibly underrated at setting the edge. Any single time I watch him play football, he jumps off the screen for me. So, Josh Allen could be a very solid replacement. But again, if the Vikings have a decision to make, whether it's, Danielle Hunter for $20 million a year or Josh Allen for $23 million a year, give me Danielle Hunter any day of the week. But in terms of an other option besides Hunter, I think Josh Allen's number 1 for me. Number 2, though, Brian Burns from the Carolina Panthers. And this guy's, his name's been floated around in trade rumors for the past 2 trade deadlines, and Carolina has decided to keep him. So I do expect Carolina to try their best to bring him back. But if he decides to go elsewhere, I think Minnesota could be a great landing spot for him. And same projection as Josh Allen. PFF has him as a 1-year, $22.79 million deal. Again, if it's these 2 top options of Josh Allen and Brian Burns, the Vikings were deciding between, those 2 and Hunter, I just take 99. And that's like, I understand people who are in the camp where it's like, hey, we're not going to bring back Danielle. He's had 2 major surgeries. He's also turning 30 next season. I hear all that, but the year Danielle Hunter had last season of putting up 16.5 sacks, 23 tackles for loss, I think he's way more productive than those 2 guys. And honestly, those 2 guys are going to go for more. So I'd still ride with Hunter. But obviously, if you guys disagree, you guys can let me know. And also I'll say cheaper option, a more, financially responsible option maybe, would be this guy, Bryce Huff. It's calling Josh Allen one of the more underrated players in the NFL. I think Bryce Huff could make an argument for that as well. And, PFF has his contract projection at 3 years, $50 million per year. And listen, guys, he's a young and up-and-coming player in the NFL. And he finally kind of had his breakout year this past year for the Jets, putting up double-digit sacks. And listen, he's always been a high-pressure guy in his first 3 seasons in the NFL, but he was never able to, fully get home. And he finally stayed healthy this season. And listen, I always look at, pressures. Obviously sack is probably the more important stat, but I think pressures are maybe a better indicator of how often a guy is getting home. And listen, he's been able to do that throughout his career in the NFL. So listen, he's a young and up-and-coming player. I do expect the Jets to try their best to bring him back. But hey, if they don't, Bryce Huff, even if the Vikings do bring back Danielle Hunter, this could be a guy that I would be absolutely thrilled if that they would sign him. Number 4 for me, a guy that maybe has a bad reputation right now because a clip went viral of him kind of showing a lack of effort against the Detroit Lions. But it's Chase Young, and he's number 4 for me. And right now they have his contract projection at 1 year, $15 million this offseason. And it's very, very similar to an edge rusher we signed last year for a 1-year, $13 million deal. This would be Marcus Davenport all over again, in my opinion. You have a guy in Chase Young. He's had injury concern and also character concern, to start off his NFL career. That's just like Marcus Davenport. So I'd steer clear of Chase Young, even though he did end up having a pretty good second half against, the Detroit Lions, in the NFC Championship game. I just don't like the effort that I consistently see from him. He's a tremendous talent. Definitely still great at getting to the quarterback, but I don't love him in the run game. And this just screams Marcus Davenport all over again for the Minnesota Vikings. And, shout out to producer Trace on today's show. He was completely right about Marcus Davenport. I got my hopes up. Should have just listened to him, man. But Yeah, I just think this would be Marcus Davenport all over again if the Vikes would sign him. I got one more name in free agency that the Vikings could sign in and 3 draft targets. But first, I want to tell you guys about today's sponsor, and that is Prize Picks. If you guys head to prizepicks.com/CLNS and use promo code CLNS, we're going to hook you guys up with a first deposit match all the way up to $100. Prize Picks, it's daily fantasy sports made easy, and this is the lineup I'm rolling with for this big game coming up, not this weekend, but the next weekend. I'm rolling with more than half a passing yards for Mahomes, more on half a touchdown for Isaiah Pacheco. I just feel like that crazy guy is going to find the end zone at least one time in the Super Bowl. They got McCaffrey, having a big-time game, so I'm going to go more on 35.5 receiving yards for him. But if you guys want to fade with my picks or ride my picks, make sure you guys do it at Prize Picks. PrizePicks.com/CLNS and use promo code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100. Number 5 for me in terms of free agent options for the Minnesota Vikings is the man from the Texans who had a breakout season this past year, Jon Greenard. Listen, he's a stud, man. Anytime I watch the Texans play this year, he's a guy that pops off the screen, and he's expected to get paid this offseason. PFF projects him at a 3-year, $47.5 million deal, and he probably deserves every single cent of that. Here's a big reason. Him and Will Anderson obviously paired up with D'Amico that really turned around this Texans team, and, the dude got home a lot last season. Him having double-digit sacks, ended up at 12.5, a forced fumble as well, 2 PBUs on the season. He's getting those hands up in passing lanes, but also 52 tackles as well. This would be another guy, cheaper option compared to Danielle, but I would absolutely love it if they brought Greenard in. He's a dog, man, and he just has incredible bend as well. Freak athlete, so I would not mind him at all. But if we get any updates around Danielle Hunter, we will have a video for you guys ASAP. Besides the quarterback position, this is the biggest topic of conversation for this football team. So if we get any updates around him, we're going to have a video for you guys. So make sure you guys subscribe today. Hit that subscribe button right down below, and we'll keep you posted with whatever it may be around the Vikings and also 99. But let's just say the Vikings don't sign anybody. Let's just say they're not signing any free agents and they let Danielle Hunter walk. They definitely got to draft a guy. My number 1 edge target this year is Dallas Turner, the edge from Alabama. As he stands at 6'4", 242 pounds. He's a freak athlete. He had 53 tackles this past season, 10 sacks, and 2 forced fumbles. The one thing I didn't love about Dallas Turner, after they lost to Michigan in the college football semifinal, he declared for the draft right away, which I thought was a little weird. But, on the field, this dude's a dog. I would absolutely love him at number 11 for the Vikings. So keep your eyes on him. If it's not quarterback, I do think it'll be edge at 11. But number 2 for me, love this dude, Jared Verse. It was very tough me not putting Verse, at number 1 on this, but hey, what are you going to do? But Jared Verse out of Florida, 6'4", 260 pounds, from Dayton, Ohio, actually. Weird that we have a stud from Dayton. But 2023, he was great for Florida State. 41 tackles, 9 sacks, 1 forced fumble. In terms of, he's probably the best athlete out of the edge position in this year's class. Obviously needs to shore up his technique, but I think under Brian Flores, under the Vikings system, I think he could do that. I think he could really pop. And, he is actually pretty similar to Danielle Hunter coming out. He's got unorthodox pass rush moves, and maybe Danielle Hunter, if the Vikings do keep him, would be a great mentor for this player right here, Jared Verse. But number 3, Laiatu Latu, the edge out of UCLA. And this guy's kind of the opposite of the first 2 guys. He's more of a he's more technically sound than the first 2 and may not have the upside as an athlete. But again, this guy's an absolute dog. He's got crazy bend. Like, his ability to kind of swoop under, offensive tackles is really special. Comes in at 6'5", 265 pounds, 49 tackles, 13 sacks this past season, and 2 forced fumbles. Playing in the Pac-12. I love him. Any 3 of these guys, if the Vikings took them on draft day, if they do have the quarterback position figured out, I'd be absolutely thrilled. They need to address edge. Even if they don't, or even if they do bring Hunter back, I think, either 3 of these guys could be the pick at number 11. But I'll ask you guys, should the Vikings draft an edge rusher, 11th overall in this upcoming draft? Let me know your thoughts down below. Y for yes or N for no. As always, guys, make sure you guys are subscribed. Any updates around Danielle Hunter, Kirk Cousins, whatever it may be, I want to be your go-to YouTube channel. So hit that subscribe button, lock us in, and we'll see you guys next time. Skol Vikes.